Hello guys, it's Shoji Bolter again. um, this is a new series that I'm doing. I've had Elite Dangerous for a very, very long time, and if you guys are, Star Wars fans or space fans in general, I thought I'd bring this up and have you guys check this out. I've been an Elite Dangerous pilot for a while. Now, the premise for Elite Dangerous, before we take off and do our first mission, is you are a mercenary, so to speak. You're like like a soldier, a mercenary, whatever. You can be a pirate, a space pirate, a merchant, hell, even a cruise line, commander or navigator. And you can also, be the type of person that does bounties or anti-piracy work. Now, now there are 4 factions in the game. There are, I'm not gonna name them all, but so if we go into the Galactic Powers tab here, we've got the Empire, the Alliance, the Federation. Well, actually 5. There's the Empire, the Federation, and the Alliance. Well, 4 factions, my bad. 4 factions like that. Now, each faction has their own perks and has their own perks and everything else. So, the Empire is basically based off of like this, space Roman slash, sort of Hunger Games capital, like, if Hunger Games government, the capital was in space, this is what it would look like. Now, Empress Arisalani Duval, she is the Emperor of the Empire. Now, I'm not going to get too really big into the lore of it, but basically it's a daily basis deal where, depending on what faction you join, because the Empire is obviously an empire, the Empire of Aknar, as it's just known as the Empire. Then you have the Alliance, which is a group of independent pilots and, of course, pirates. And then you have the Federation. Now, tell me that Zachary Hudson, the president of the Federation, does not look like Robert Patrick from the Terminator. I mean, dude, the resemblance is uncanny. But anyway, the premise is you work for one of these factions and the government involved, and you rise through the ranks. And there was a pirate faction, well, not pirate faction, but a wing, if you will, called the 13th Legion. Now, the 13th Legion are based on PC. They don't have any branch on PS4. And if they did, I would have joined them already. But, as you can see, if we go down to Starport Services, I'm in the capital of the Empire of Aknar. It took me a while to get here, too. So right now I have 151,329,158 credits. Half of that is from bounty hunting, from pirate hunting. Now we're going to go to Alakagwai, which is the where a couple of pirates, or a cartel of pirates, as it's known here, has been residing. And me and many other players from all around the world who play Elite have been sent by the Imperial Navy Auxiliary to deal with these individuals. Now, there can be player bounties. The Empire and Federation go to war daily, and it's back and forth. But recently, there's been a lot of events going on regarding the Neo-Marlinist Liberation Army, or NMLA, which is a rebel group, a rebel faction in Elite Dangerous, and the pirate faction has been tied into it. Now, if you're not the bounty hunting type or combat type, you can join the what's known as the Fuel Rats. Now, the Fuel Rats are a faction which they help other faction ships, other, spacecraft refuel. Like they're players that give noobs fuel and stuff like that. And as an Imperial pilot, I was involved in the regime change, if you will, between the fuel rats, between the fuel rats that were working for the Imperial government, for the Empire, and we had to push out Federation and independent supporters. Now, just to give you guys a bit of a premise on it, you do not get the ship that I'm flying in, the Imperial Courier, right away. And now the AIs will communicate with you and stuff like that in text chat, which you'll see in a sec. Now this game has been out for a while. It's currently for about $29.99, I believe. And Horizons is DLC that you're absolutely going to need if you're going to want upgraded weapons. Upgraded weapons and gear. And in the autumn, the new non-paying DLC, Odyssey, will be coming out. Now, Odyssey gives you the ability to enlist in one of the faction's armies, in one of these many factions' ground forces, and fight on planets. And that'll be exciting to see, with the cooperation of pilots in the air and on the ground. Now, what we're about to do is 2 bounties. Now, as you can see, I have 40,000 each to claim from both, from 2 different factions. Now, these factions within these systems are governments within themselves. So, as you can see, Stephen Law says, "What do you bring before a pirate lord?" Now, this is called Interdiction. Now, Interdiction is where you get locked in, and you're not able to get out. Now we get into a dogfight with this guy. So he sees me, he pulls up, which not many AI pirates do. They're close to acting like human players as possible. But it depends on what side of the galaxy you're on, and you'll rarely see human players, or you'll see different people essentially. Now, what we do is we lock this guy up and we just pepper his shield, essentially. Now, the weapons that I'm using are 2 multi-cannons, which are basically miniguns, and 250 caliber miniguns, and I'm also using a heat-seeker missile suite. I wanted a bit of a semblance of realism, so I kind of went with a bit of a fighter jet sort of capability. Now, as you can see, this guy is now about to drop his cargo in desperation. Well, he didn't, but most pirates will usually drop their cargo and try to attack you as much as they can. In desperation, they drop their cargo and they'll get blown to bits. Now, the 2 green dots on my radar are internal security service agents. Now, the internal security service, depending on whether you're an Imperial pilot or a Federation pilot, now they do not like each faction has their own version of a like interstellar security force, and the internal security service is one of these. Now, they will investigate reports of crimes, and as they say, all citizens must admit to authority scams. Please do not attempt to flee. But I'm a bounty hunter, so or as they call it, anti-piracy. So what I do is this is called going into Super Cruise. I would warp into Super Cruise, and those ships would disappear. Now, the Vandy platform is our closest space station. Now, this is a mining station. It's not like the massive space station that we're going to be going back to. Now, the space stations are usually, they vary in size. If they're more little like civilian, they'll be like little spaceports. That's it. Where you'll just be able to cash in your bounties, get your ammo, do some repairs on your ship, refuel, that sort of thing. Do a little bit of refueling, get your spacecraft in order, get your spaceship in order, and off you go. Now, every faction has a preferred manufacturer of spaceship. Now, you'll hear this on the mic in a second. When we warp in, you'll actually hear it twice, and it's sort of like to mimic, if you will, an airfield tower. Like, you know, when you're on a plane and they say, "Oh, well, you know, plane whatever, land at this airstrip." Boom. That's basically what this mimics. So you'll hear my PSN, but it'll be in like military code. So you'll hear one half of it. So here we go. So we have to go to 700 meters.
Docking request granted.
Now, Navandi is not. Now, the Navandi platform does not have a air tower because it's a civilian spaceport. But so what we do is we'll land. If you suck at piloting, I would highly suggest getting a Super Cruise, the Super Cruise assist, and the landing assist, because that means the AI will take over and you'll be all good there. Now those are ships flying out to either trade or go into combat. So what we do is we would go to mission board. Now this is where you get your missions. This is where you get all your jobs for the different factions. Now, thing is Alakagoi Holdings, I'm not going to do any work for them for obvious reasons, because I'd rather work for the guys offering the buku bucks in the capital, obviously. But so that's a little bit of an alarm there. So we would go to redeem our bounty vouchers, and there we go. Now that should make it. And then what we do is we would go to. We lock our back in our. We take off, and then you'll hear the intercom when we head to Akinar. So basically, each faction's security service will tell you you're allowed to land here, you're not allowed to land here. Any base that's abandoned, you'll automatically get a bounty for. So do not accept any missions or jobs in Elite Dangerous. I don't care what type of faction it is, and it's like, oh yeah, well we want you to raid this base for information. Don't do it, because once you get that bounty and it's high enough, people will start to go after you. Now we're gonna go back to Akinar and cash in the bounty. Now the Shield of Justice is basically a rogue fighter squadron. As far as I can tell. Now, what we do here is we go back. We get the hyperdrive break, and we go to Baker Terminal, and you'll hear the intercom in a second. So what we do is we usually pump the brakes, let the ship fly itself in with Super Cruise Assist, and we'll go from there. Now the interdictor, the frame shift drive interdictor, is if you are either a bounty hunter or a pirate, either one. And that means you get to pull spaceships, whether they're merchants, pirates, bounty targets, players, out of space. So, while this is going on, we have about 21 minutes to, we have 21 minutes till we land here. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to organize the 2 new Shadow of War videos that we got up and loaded, and I'm going to make a new playlist for Elite Dangerous. So when this video is uploaded, it will be uploaded to a public playlist for all my Elite Dangerous gameplay. Now, the next game I'm going to be tackling is World of Warships. Now, World of Warships Legends is a naval action game made by the same people who made World of Tanks, but I have the 2 best ships in the game, the Yamato and the Gross occurred first. Now, once I get the other one repaired, because you have to pay credits to get those ships repaired, same with Elite Dangerous, you can sail them. So when I get that repaired, I will do a standard match, and you guys can see how good I am at World of Warships, because at one point I actually held down an entire team by using a low-grade ship that no one actually used, which was the Kaiser, a German battleship that was made, I think, post World War I in 1919. Now, I also will be covering a little bit of Red Dead, or kind of give you guys some tips on Red Dead 2, and stuff like that. I'll also be playing both Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War, as well as playing Rocket League. Now, Rocket League, I will admit, I suck at it. Okay, so don't be expecting any high score numbers. But with World of Warships, yeah, you'll get a lot of high damage numbers. But in Elite Dangerous, your best tactic, and I will say this much, your best tactic is to act as if you're a trade ship or a ship that's unarmed, and you slow down, you fly casual, as Han Solo would say back in Star Wars. You fly casual, you wait till the bounty's on top, right behind you. They'll pull you out of space, and you will have your ship's nose pointing down. So there's that. Now we are about 9 seconds away from landing in Baker Terminal, and I will show you guys what how the intercom works. Now, what we're gonna do is I'll see if there's any more space combat jobs for this video, and if not, we'll end part 1 here. I might start covering more of Elite Dangerous and other games as they come out. I might give you guys some tips for Call of Duty as well. Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered, in preparation for going to COD Black Ops Cold War. Now, another game I'd recommend would be, if you're a strategy buff like I am, it's a Mafia strategy game, or pre-Mafia, if you will. Empire of Sin. Now, Empire of Sin is basically based in Chicago in the 1920s. I play as Dean O'Banion, and we'll go from there. Now, as we see, or as you can see here, my ship is loading in, and now here comes the intercom. So that is basically when all the landing service gives you the okay. You land in, you turn in your bounties, you refuel, because getting to Akinar actually took me quite a while. This is before I started the series. It took me quite a while. Right now I think it's a Duke in the Imperial Navy. So basically I'm an officer here. So I'm not like a, standard, Elite Dangerous noob. Now, what you do is you land, the ship will land, and you get your intercom and all that. That's where the tower is, right there. Usually when you log off, your ship will automatically be brought into its hangar until you use it again. Now, when we go to missions, as you see the exclamation marks there, now you have three choices. You have reputation, money, or something else. That's cargo space. We're going to go with money, with the credits. Now, that gives us 152 million, and I'm almost allied with that particular faction. Now, this other one gives us influence, half the pay, and this one gives us the full payment, one influence, one reputation. But if you want to go for full-on reputation, just click the second option when you do these bounty missions. Now we're gonna click on see if any other faction is offering work. Now, when it goes to recommended rank, do not do the missions that have the three blue dots on them, unless you have a friend that's willing to help. Now, that can be very difficult to find in Elite, so ye be warned. Now, Peter Swan, he's a harmless pirate, so he'll probably be flying the Cobra Mark III. Now, most independent pilots will fly either Cobra Mark IIIs, Vipers, Viper 3s and 4s, Cobra Mark IVs if they got them, Sidewinders, a keelback, which is a larger ship than I can even afford. Now, this is a Sidewinder. It's a free ship, and this thing is basically the space version of a coffin, because this thing can only warp maybe one jump and you're done. You're a dud. Now, the hauler, same deal. The Adder, it's a good combat ship. Wouldn't recommend it for obvious reasons, because of the overshadow that it sends off. Now, the Imperial Eagle. Now, the Imperial Eagle is a one-shot ship. Now, it is a good anti-piracy ship if you're gonna start working for the Empire, or you'll get the standard Eagle, which is Federation issue. Now, Viper Mark IV. It's a heavy fighter, so you're not gonna be. If you're looking for maneuverability, this ship ain't it. The Dolphin. Now, this thing is a passenger ship. Now, if you've ever dreamed about being a space luxury liner captain, this ship's for you. Same thing goes with the Orca. Thing is, the AIs that love these things will ram right into you, even in space traffic. Now, if you're willing to be a tradesman, Type 9 Heavy's for you. And then you got the Beluga liner. Now, the Beluga is kind of the top of the line, $84 million ship for luxury liners. If you're trying to make your bank by doing those types of missions. Now we'll go for. Now we're gonna see what other missions we've got. As I said, do not do any of these. And every Thursday, I believe, they wipe the server. So, just be warned there. So, if you see no missions available or something like that, don't be alarmed. Don't panic. It's just Frontier wiping the server. Just like Rockstar would for GTA. Now, and to mention that I am retired from the Mafia community. Now, I might live stream upload these videos if they do well. Now, most of these missions are really easy. They're not difficult. Now, now we're gonna do one last bounty mission before we call it a night here. Now, every mission has a day for you to complete it. If you don't complete it, you'll get something like this. You'll get a, reputation change thing from the team of that faction, and then you have the different mail that you go through. Now, the power play cycle happens every Thursday at 7 a.m. GMT for you people in the UK. So Frontier wipes the server, and if you are part of a power play faction, which I would recommend that you get into right as you get enough funds for better ships and equipment, I would definitely say be a combat pilot, because it is one of the best paying jobs in Elite Dangerous. Now, as you can see, it's called Baker Terminal right there. Now, each station has these sort of digital ads that you fly through. You can't see them now because we're going out, but when we come back, you'll see the screens change. Now, every year is, in real life, is a separate year in game, so we are now in 33, what is it? We're now in, I think, 3307 or something. No, let me go to Galnet News. Yep, 3307. So 2021 would be 3308, and then these are all the bits and pieces of news that I suggest you either read or listen to. And they give hourly updates and news for the factions and stuff like that. Now, Hadrian, okay, let me listen to this. I will be playing this in the video as well.
Hadrian Duval refutes NMLA allegations. ACT has confirmed receiving evidence that NMLA attacks were orchestrated by Imperator Hadrian Augustus Duval, who immediately denied the claim. Landgrave Delacroix of the Neo-Marlinist Order of Madrid provided details to ACT that the isolationist group Nova Imperium is at the heart of the
Frameshift drive charging.
Speed restriction
Now,
lifted. Imperial Flight Operations Bureau now
you will
flying
not be able to...
NMLA. In response, Hadrian Duval made this statement: "These accusations are completely false.
Ready to engage.
Political stance is the exact opposite of Marlinism, since we believe it restores..."
Now, Marlinism, just so you guys are aware,
The
is
Empire's
basically
traditions.
a extreme version of democracy.
Fought against the terrorists in Madrid, as required by the Treaty of Paris. As for Lady Astrid being a top NMLA agent, my wife's
Mission objective detected.
been a loyal Imperial commander since she first piloted a ship. Princess Aisling Duval has publicly decried the allegation and offered support to Hadrian Duval. However, Senator Zemina Torval told the Senate, "Should we be surprised that an extremist organization performs extreme acts? That this arrogant boy who declares himself Imperator should turn to violent rebellion once again? Enemies of the Empire must be punished, even those with Duval blood." ACT is fully investigating the Landgrave's evidence and has asked for patience, despite urgent demands for action from the Alliance, Empire, and Federation.
So basically, with that comms thing, with that comms in detail, basically what that means is the rebel group has struck again this week, and basically the Empire and all factions involved are calling for players to engage these people as quickly as possible, which I cannot because I'm out of range. I'll be doing my best to tackle the pirate issues here. Now, I would definitely recommend signing up with the Empire, but the difference is if you want maneuverability, luxury, and excellent armor, sign up with the Empire and buy a lot of Gutamaya ships. Now, if you want armor, great shielding, and something that weighs you down in space, buy the sign up for the Federation. Now, most of these companies in game will be competing for your money. So, depending on what type of ships you're looking for, pay the right corporation your money. For example, if you're an Imperial like me, go with Gutamaya. Now, you are able to customize your character if you have the Horizons. The Horizons update, I mean not update, but DLC. But if I toggle my ship here, I'll give you guys a quick look. Now this is how my ship looks, and that's my commander right there, in his suit there. So, and then that's it. So, I'll show you guys once we land. I'll show you more detail of my ship before we log off. So guys, if you like this content, I'm gonna say this now as an update. If you guys like this content and you want me to do more Elite Dangerous and kind of clue you into a little bit of the lore of Elite Dangerous, please let me know. If you want more information regarding Elite, I would suggest watching Obsidian Ant or watching any of the Galnet podcasts that happen every week. So, and these will update weekly. So tomorrow will be the server update, so that's why I'm going to be logging off as early as I am for Elite and calling it a night. Now, what's next for us is World of Warships, well, Elite Dangerous, World of Warships, both Shadow of War games, Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor, and probably, if I can get it on my system, Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered, multiplayer only. And I'll give you guys a couple quick tips that I used to use on Modern Warfare 2 regarding Call of Duty. Now, I was not a big COD player growing up. If it was historically accurate, I'd get it. I'd play the living hell out of it for a while, and then it was gone. But in regards to Modern Warfare Remastered, I'm going to download it tonight. We'll see what we can get, and I'll see you guys on the other side in regards to that. But before we head off, I will show you guys what the Imperial Courier looks like up close. Now, the Imperial Courier is a heavy fighter built by Gutamaya. Now, it is very expensive, and the equipment that I put on it is the following. a heat seeker missile rack, which is, I forget how many credits I spent on it, but a great amount of credits. 2 multi-cannons, which are, I think 300k each or so, and I think the rocket pod is like 500k. And then you have the kill warrant scanner, which is a little bit of a radar. That's like 8,000. So if you want to gear your ship up for anti-piracy work, and you want to go after players and stuff, target players within one of the other factions, and make sure that you're at war. Don't do it if that faction's leader, whether it's Aristolaney Duvall, Zachary Hudson, one of the Alliance political leadership, the independent people, one of the independent guys. Make sure that something is going on in the Elite Dangerous Galaxy before you make any moves. Because right now, the Elite Dangerous Galaxy is kind of suffering, both economically and politically, because there's been a lot of instability. So, but the Empire and the Federation do not like each other, because the Empire basically broke off from the Federation and declared its independence, so because of the Federation's very quick corporate greed. Now when you go in to a station, they'll give you your PSN, but under military coding. So we'll fly right in. I'll give you guys a little tour of the ship, and I will see you guys on the other side. Tomorrow I will be doing part 2 of Shadow of Mordor and part 2 of Shadow of War and part 1 of World of Warships. Now, part 1 for World of Warships will be brief. It'll be very brief, very quick. Now, in regards to just to go back on topic, in regards to the Mafia community in GTA, let's not talk about it. We're just here to chill right now. I do hope things lighten up and cool off, yes. I do hope things cool off and things lighten up. We got 7 light seconds, and we should be in right about now. Alright, there we go. Now, the Discovery Scanner and the comp scanner is part of it's basically part of the analysis suite that comes with every ship.
Request denied. Your ship is currently out of range. Docking request complete. Set down on landing pad 06.
Now,
Automated docking computer
the
permitted. You are clear to hand over
Imperial Landing Bureau is gonna want to land the ship, so I hand over automated control. Now, you're gonna want to get the landing computer, docking computer, and the super cruise assist, because if you suck at piloting at first, and you want a big ship like this, you're definitely gonna want to put your money into it. Now, as you can see, there's ads here. That's the Imperial logo. partially, and you know, a couple of the in-game companies. So we go in, we get security scanned, the whole bit. And the reason why for that is to make sure that you're not a smuggler.
Landing gear deployed.
If you want to do the whole Han Solo get-up, that's fine, but you're going to have a lot of Empire Vacnar ships coming after your ass.
Landing complete. Alight when ready. We trust
So,
this facility will serve you well, Commander.
here we go. Now, we go to missions, make the collection. Also, as well, you want to collect your weekly stipend from the galactic power you're aligned with as well. Alright, so now let's see what we got. Oof. Dangerous, nothing. So usually you gotta wait 2 days for bounties to lighten up, i.e. bounties that you can actually do, or assassination contracts you can actually do. So when they do the server reset, all these difficult missions will be wiped off. So now let's go down the hangar so I can show you guys what the Imperial Courier looks like grounded versus in space. And then we zoom right back, and the hangar door gets locked. And now this is the Imperial Courier. Now this is the front of the ship. I nicknamed my ship the Imperator because, you know, why not? Because I'm a history buff. And then you got, you know, you got the Good of Maya on the side of the engines, the wings, and then you have the weapons, which I will show you guys in a sec. Now, it's a very fine design ship, but it's very expensive. So that's why I'm very careful when I go out. When I go out for bounties and shit. Now, that's what my character looks like. That's the back of the command seating. And that'll be it for that. Now, if I go to Starport Services, I will show you guys the weaponry that I used with this bad boy. Now again, you definitely want to be very careful with how much power you dish in. So my hard points, so I have class 2 multi-cannons, so the multi-cannons I have are 2F, and the 2Fs are a mil 2 each, for both. Now this is a Seeker missile rack. Now Seeker missile racks are very expensive as well. Now Seeker missile racks are 500,000 apiece. 500,400 credits apiece. Now the ship is basically very good for maneuverability and things like that. Now this is the current governor of the system, or of the station, Emmanuel Chan. These things change weekly. Now, Gudamaya ships are very good for their speed, maneuverability. They have relatively good armor. They have great armor, relatively great armor. But you also want to make sure that you have armor reinforcement. Now, if we go to the outfitting, I will show you guys. These are the shield boosters. Shield boosters are worth, if I go to shield boosters, these are 10,000 each. The kill warrant scanner, kill warrant scanners is 13,000 each. But if you want a really good kill warrant scanner, you're gonna have to spend about $1 million, which is not hard to come by in this game. Now you have point defense, which is basically chaff for missiles. And then you have the frame shift wake scanner. Now the wake scanners are basically well, I cannot tell you how much they're worth, but it's worth a pretty penny. Because if a ship goes out of your range, you want to scan where it's going to go. That's where a frame shift drive scanner, wake scanner, is very good with. Now, these are my, now this is the core internals, power plants, thrusters, sensors, all standard above board. Now, you also want to look at the optional internals, which are the shield generator, the fuel scoop, which you're definitely going to want to get if you're a bounty hunter, if you're doing anti-piracy work or a bounty hunter, or fighting the Federation pilots as well, player and non-player. If you're going into Federation space, doing raids with your friends into enemy faction space, you're going to want to get a fuel scoop. Now, this is what is called a module reinforcement package. It's basically armor for your ship. And then you have your Super Cruise Assist, which is basically your autopilot and Super Cruise, and then you have your advanced docking computer, which is your autopilot when it comes to landing. After the security service kind of does your whole mock-up checkup, and then you have the FSD drive, which is the frame shift drive interdictor. Now, frame shift drive interdictors can be replaced with, and I'm actually going to do this just for example. Frame shift drives are very hard to come by. Very difficult to come by. Depending on the galactic economy, they're very hard to come by. So what we'll do is we'll store it, and what we will do is we will go to Browse Shop, we'll go to Module Reinforcement, and we'll pay the $15,000 reinforcement just to get some good old armor on the ship. Make sure that this thing is pretty much a tank. Now, thing is, you want to be for a new player, you'll get about $1 million or so in credits on loan, but you have to work that loan off. So, anyway, guys, if you like the Elite Dangerous content, please let me know, and I will see you guys on the other side. This is JJ Bolger, and I will talk to you guys later on. Please like, comment, and subscribe.